It's been more than 9 months since quadruple murderer Bryan Kohberger was sentenced to 4 life prison terms with no chance of parole after taking a surprise guilty plea in a deal with prosecutors. It was all in the gruesome 2022 stabbing deaths of 4 Idaho college students. The plea deal allowed Kohberger to avoid a lengthy murder trial and remove the possibility of the death penalty. But now new questions have arisen about key prosecution evidence and whether that evidence would have held up in court had the case gone to trial. For example, the knife sheath that was found at the crime scene. In his book, Broken Plea, author Christopher Whitcomb spotlights that key piece of evidence. Whitcomb says that chain of custody issue around that knife sheath was a problem, and it could have led to that being thrown out of court. Joining us now is former FBI agent Christopher Whitcomb, author of Broken Plea, the explosive search for truth behind the Idaho murders. Christopher, great to have you on the show. So what was the chain of custody issue around this knife sheath? Because this was probably the most damning piece of evidence.
It was a very damning piece of evidence. It was a 3-part prosecution. The white car, everyone knows, it was tied to Bryan Kohberger by prosecutor Bill Thompson. The cell tower information tying Bryan Kohberger's phone to the time before and after the crimes, and the DNA found on the knife sheath. And I think you brought up something very interesting at the beginning, Elizabeth, in that this did not go to trial, so people really have no idea what the evidence would have shown. Because of the way the plea deal came out of nowhere, was announced very suddenly, no one will ever know that information. All we know is what Bill Thompson said at the change of plea hearing when he recited the evidence against Bryan Kohberger.
But so why would the knife sheath, you think, maybe been thrown out?
Well, this is one issue in a 430-page book. It's a very broad thing, but the bottom line is because the knife sheath everyone thinks was found in the bed. The report filed by the Idaho State Police says it was found on the floor. There were various issues that were presented by the defense as to what that knife sheath actually showed about the crime scene and how it got there. And then once it was seized by the Idaho State Police, the chain of custody ensures that what is taken from the crime scene and what ends up being processed for DNA is contiguous, it is uncorrupted, and that it is verifiable in a court of law. What this book shows is some of the information in the police file. I make no theories. I offer no conjecture. I present the evidence, and it's very, very surprising. People have no idea what they don't know. This does not come up with.
You talked about the 2 other pillars, the white car that he drove that was seen in the area, the cell tower, which showed his cell phone was out and about the crime scene area at, 4 a.m. when the crimes were taking place, not a time when a lot of people are out and about. Would he have been convicted even if the knife sheath had been thrown out?
Well, obviously, we'll never know because he took the plea. And I stipulate unequivocally, Bryan Kohberger pled guilty. He was a grown man of sound mind. He was working on a PhD in criminology. I don't dispute that. What I say is that many people make deals. In this case, it was a death penalty on the line should he have been convicted. People do what's in their own best interest. I don't dispute any of that. What I say, looking at the evidence that the reader of this book and the people that are watching this right now have never seen. This is never. So before they make judgments, I think it's important to look at all of this and see many things. Like I say, the knife sheath is very important, but it's one issue in a 430-page book.
Yeah, and you've also write in this book about the blood evidence, about it being possibly diluted and not found in places that would have made sense. You're taking
and that comes from the prosecution. The prosecution hired an expert who came in, wrote a report just prior to trial, and these things come from the prosecution, not from the defense.
Interesting. Yeah, we never got to see the case against Bryan Kohberger. You are starting to unveil it in this book. Christopher Whitcomb, thank you so much. Your book, Broken Plea, is scheduled for release tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.